Supervisor Don Knabe. I'm pleased to welcome you back to another episode of Dialed In. It's once again that crazy time of year here in Los Angeles County. It's called the holidays. And we've all got our favorite traditions, whether it's eating Grandma's famous pumpkin pie, camping out for the must-have electronic, or just getting away for some quality family time. Here on Dialed In, however, we have a different type of tradition. Each year, during the holidays, we spotlight some organization in our communities who step up to help those in need. For some in our communities, the holidays are just another day in their daily struggle. They still don't know where the next meal may come from, or they don't have a home to call their own. Fortunately, there are wonderful organizations in our community who step up to fill that void and bring some joy to all families at this time of the year. This month, I'm pleased to introduce to you some of these incredible organizations who are working tirelessly year-round to bring some holiday cheer to those who are going through these hardships. I hope you will enjoy the show.
When Connie Andrews got married, her maid of honor, Caitlin, made some unauthorized alterations to her dress, and Connie realized Caitlin was not her friend. When Connie got Satellite, she joined the millions who don't get true on-demand, and she realized Satellite was not her friend. Now Connie has Charter, with over 10,000 titles, many free. It's the on-demand she always wanted. Take it from Connie. Satellite is not your friend. Watch over 10,000 titles on demand with Charter.
Welcome back to Dialed In. My first guest today is Donna Holmes, founder and president of Maddie's Closet, an organization based in the city of La Mirada. For the last 10 years, Maddie's Closet has been supporting children in our local hospitals who are battling cancer. Through toy drives, fundraising events, and other programs, Maddie's Closet has become a symbol of hope and inspiration for the youngest and bravest children facing cancer. Donna, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for this opportunity.
So let's start with the very basics. You shared some earlier, but tell us what the inspiration for Maddie's Closet.
I believe Maddie was our inspiration. Madison, when she was diagnosed at 3 years old, saw a vision that I definitely did not see. We had been diagnosed at a different hospital, but treated at CHLA. And we walked into the hospital, she noticed that there was such a significant need, that there were children who were sitting alone, there were children with no toys, and they were so bored. They didn't have blankets to hold on to, and the fear in their face. When Maddie would come home from a treatment every single day, she would continuously talk to me about trying to help them. And when I would say, Maddie, let's just wait, let's cure you, and then we will help them, that was not enough for Madison at 3. She would go home, she would go in her room, and she would have her brother tie toys on the stroller so that the next day when she would go, she could pass out whatever was needed to the kids in the aisle or in a hospital bed that was next to her. So it was truly Madison's vision.
I mean, that's an amazing story. I mean, that someone at 3 years old has that vision and compassion and understanding. So how does this all tie into the children that are battling cancer? Is it just an ongoing program, or is there some unique process that's tied in?
You know, the pros and cons to the whole thing is that we are going on 10 years. And pediatric cancer is so underfunded and so underlooked at because it hurts. No one wants to hear about a child that is hurting or in pain. With that journey, I have seen so much of what Madison was truly trying to tell me, but I've seen so much more. And I feel that the more that we reach out into our community and ask for help, we can do so much more. We have now branched out to research, we've branched out to emergency funds for those that do not have insurance and just want a little bit more hope, which are the research programs.
Absolutely. So I would imagine it's sort of twofold. Her vision to begin with toys and all the other kinds of things, but maybe you probably bring a lot now to the parents in dealing with the children, where you, like you said, you were so caught up in finding the cure for Maddie that you didn't see what she was trying to tell you, and now the whole thing's come full cycle 10 years later. What kinds of things can the folks out there donate?
You know, there are so many different things, and we try to change it every single year so nothing becomes just normal. One of the things that we have hit on is that, especially at CHLA, the #1 gift that they ask for is school supplies. And that's because it's so much more than just school supplies. It's a form of being a normal child. It is something that they do not get that the other children do get, because the funds are put more into their medical expenses than it is just the normal school supplies. That's the only consistent event that we seem to be doing. But on our website, we've blocked the entire year so you can go on there and see.
So they can bring like backpacks and pencils and
Everything.
everything. Wow.
And there's not too little, because every single pencil or penny adds up to be one more that a child needs in there.
Where do the donations come from?
Our community. We have an amazing, amazing community that just reaches out and brings items to us that we can take down to the hospital.
So you go beyond the boundaries, obviously, of La Mirada, and this whole region out there is supporting your program.
We are working very hard at doing that. Us being such a small family and friend-based organization, now that we're going into our 10th year and being a part of our 10th year, we are branching out to much, much more. We're in Orange County, LA County, and we're just trying to grow.
So we talked about the donations and where they may come from, and I'll ask you that too, but how are we dealing with the issue of the expansion of Maddie's Closet? And the fact is that you want to grow bigger. Tell us, I mean, do you have, maybe you can have some free advertising there. Do you have, how do you fundraise, and what kinds of programs do you have coming up? I mean, are there galas, or are there other kinds of opportunities for people to participate in?
We have one big gala and one walkathon every single year, and those are our two big fundraisers. But the other way that we fundraise is there are so many kids that I believe kids help kids when they're doing a birthday party and their child has so much. They're actually doing a lot of our fundraising for us. In lieu of presents for themselves, they're giving to the kids. So we do a gala, which is a dinner event, and we do a walkathon, but we don't stop at just any big fundraiser. All the little ones add up.
Oh, they all add up, but I mean, I just wanted to, do you have dates next year for those yet, or?
We're working on them. We're trying to lock them in with the city.
Well, you let us know, we'll help get the word out as well.
Thank you.
So what are some of the ways that the community can help you during this holiday season? Obviously, as you know better than anyone, I mean, these are difficult times for the families that are up against this ugly thing called cancer.
Right.
How are some of the ways that the community can assist you, Maddie's Closet, during the holidays?
Right now we are working on a toy drive to give every single child in the cancer ward and their families a Christmas gift. At Chalk Hospital, they go in and let the parents pretend shop to pick the perfect gift for the child. And at CHLA, they have a wish list. So the toy drive is going on right now, but there is always a significant need for the research and the emergency funds, because what a better gift than hope for a family.
Now, the financial piece of this, as you mentioned, for research, does that come directly through Maddie's Closet, or does that go to CHLA?
It comes into Maddie's Closet, and we have a direct link with the social workers and the doctors that are hands-on with the specific patients.
And you are a 501(c) corporation?
We are.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think everyone out there realizes it's organizations like yours that really have an impact on our communities in unique ways, and that's the story of what we're trying to tell.
Yes.
The Maddie Closets of the world that are out there doing such great things, and we really appreciate you taking time out of a very busy schedule and spending some time with us. We wish you the very, very best and Godspeed. You're an incredible inspiration, so thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
All right.
When Dennis Walker was in high school, his locker partner, Dave, stole his girlfriend. And Dennis realized Dave was not his friend. When Dennis got satellite, he also got an unreliable signal. And he realized satellite was not his friend. Now he has Charter and a reliable weatherproof signal, just like thousands of others who switch every month. Take it from Dennis. Satellite is not your friend. Get a reliable signal, rain or shine, with Charter.
Welcome back to Dialed In. My next guest is the Fund Development Director of Food Finders, Lisa Hoffmaster. Tucked away in Signal Hill lies perhaps one of the county's best kept secrets. Since 1989, Food Finders has been feeding those in need with food donated by restaurants and food vendors. Each day, they provide nearly 40,000 meals to shelters, churches, and other agencies. Thank you for joining me, Lisa. Thanks for being here. So, 1989 was the year. So what generated the idea for Food Finders? How did that all come about?
Well, it came about by our founder, Arlene Mercer, who saw people looking in, sorry to say, but refuge bins for food, and juxtaposition of that, restaurants throwing away large food bins into behind the convention center in Anaheim. And so she contacted some shelters, and she contacted some restaurants, and this all came about at the same time as the Good Samaritan Act, which promoted the rescue and recovery of non-served, good, wholesome food. So she made some connections, and so the program began out of her home as a grassroots effort.
Just originally with shelters and things like that. 40,000 meals a day, that's a lot of food. Where does it all come from?
Well, it comes from a variety of resources. We have over 350 different types of businesses, schools, churches, Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops. The Produce Mart in downtown LA is a huge supporter of Food Finders. We get, millions of pounds of food.
Really?
Absolutely. Of the 7 million pounds of food we rescue every year, 5 million of that is fresh fruits and vegetables.
That's good food for the people that don't have any food, that are going hungry out there. So I was going to ask you, sort of got into that, but who are the primary recipients?
Well, we serve recipient agencies. We don't serve individuals directly.
So you don't have a direct line where you stand behind the counter and people come by. You actually go to the agencies like the shelters and churches and...
Yes, hence our name, Food Finders. We find the food and we get it to the places that serve low to no income clients that have limited or no resources for good, healthy food. 7 million pounds of food is nearly 15 million meals that can be served to people and prepared so that they don't have to go hungry and so that they don't have to do like Arlene saw, looking through refuge bins to try to find edible food.
That's the heart tug on everyone when they see folks doing that. So when you look at the 7 million pounds you do a year, I mean, what are some of the gamut? I mean, besides fruits and vegetables, I'm trying to. 7 million pounds is so much. I mean, are they complete meals in some ways, or do they say, Food Finders, here's our menu, how can you help? Or do you have a regular call that you do every day, or deliveries, or how does that work? How does it all come together?
Well, we have a wonderful VP of Operations, Diana Lara, and she coordinates all of this. We call her our air traffic controller. So we have over 350 different businesses. We have over 220 recipient agencies that receive the food, and it's all kinds of different food. It's prepared meals, it's canned goods, it is breads and milk and dairy, but we also rescue school lunches. We have several schools that are on board. The parents at the school have noticed that they don't like to see the milks that were not consumed and the string cheese and the yogurts, and they pose the question to the principal, we know about Food Finders and their food rescue program.
Wow.
Why can't we divert that food to local agencies to help feed people that do not have food? So we started a pilot project a few years ago to even capture this resource. So some of our agencies are food pantries, and some of our agencies do large meal service like Fred Jordan Mission or Long Beach Rescue Mission, COA, where they feed people every single day.
So it's not just all meal kinds of service, but the pantries as well that, provide such a great need for those in need out there that may have a little bit but could use a lot more, particularly on the nourishable type of edible foods.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Salvation Army, they'll do on Spring Street in Long Beach, they'll do food pantry, and Food Finders quite often will restock their shelves. We serve all kinds of agencies like the Little Sisters of the Poor in San Pedro, and we'll take them shopping. We receive grants. Not all of our food is rescued. We do receive some funding from individuals to buy supplemental food. I like to say the universe provides, but sometimes it doesn't provide quite everything you need.
Right.
And like at Thanksgiving, we have to purchase 1,000 turkeys. so that we can give them out with our holiday meal boxes.
Well, here we are, you're celebrating your 25th anniversary, or just celebrated your 25th anniversary, I'm not sure. But how much food have you guys distributed in 25 years?
Well, it's steadily grown from when it began, and it was a few 100,000 pounds of food, to now, I told you, we rescue about 7 million pounds a year. So in 25 years, we've rescued 110 million pounds of food, valued at $182 million, that would have just been thrown away if it was not for the volunteers that help us accomplish this, the stores, the bakeries, the caterers, the JW Marriotts, Girl Scout, Boy Scout troops, understanding the value of what we're trying to accomplish and helping us meet our mission.
So how does someone out there, whether it's a restaurant or a vendor watching this or a community group or organization, say, hey, you know what? I think we could help food finders. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can go onto our website at www.foodfinders.org. They can call us at 562-283-1400. There's lots of ways that we would be thrilled to partner, whether it's a one-time gift, they have an event and there's maybe they made 400 servings of chicken and only had 200 guests show up. We'll happily go and rescue those 200 servings of prepared chickens and the side dishes, and then that'll immediately be delivered to a shelter or a home where it can be consumed that night or the next day.
So the holiday season, does that put more pressure on you all? Are your demands greater during the holiday season than they are other times of the year? I mean, obviously there's an issue of food, out there all the time, but are there greater demands during the holidays?
Well, we rescue food 365 days a year, but in the holidays, we receive special requests from our recipient agencies letting us know how many families that they're serving that won't have a Thanksgiving meal if they do not receive a holiday meal box from Food Finders along with a frozen turkey. So our agencies during the summer, they put in orders, and in 2 more weeks, on Friday, November 21st, we will take all of the food that we have collected so far, and that's usually about 50,000 pounds of canned goods and non-perishables. We'll bring it to this auditorium, and we'll have this wonderful volunteer opportunity for people all ages, little children up to grandparents, that will help us sort and make holiday meal boxes.
So if they want to participate and make themselves feel good during the holidays, either volunteer to help sort the food or cash donations, they can go to the Food Finders website and find a way to help and assist, and all the plans will be there. Is that correct?
There's also a list on our website of the items that we collect for Thanksgiving. So if they wanted to, say with their book club or their poker club, or if it's somebody's birthday, we had a 91-year-old woman who didn't want any presents for her birthday. She asked her guests to bring food. And so then she brought it to us and gave it to us.
So you can take cash donations too, though?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, the reputation of Food Finders is absolutely amazing out there. The lives that you've touched and helped and assisted since 1989 are threefold. I mean, it's just been an amazing process of how you kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm sure you're going to continue to do that, but the impact that you've had on the lives of those truly in need out there have been dramatic, and I just appreciate you taking the time, your busy schedule, to come join us and share what you're doing, because we all know that Food Finders makes a difference, and we want to thank you for that, and thank you for your time here today.
Well, thank you. I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Thank you.
When Connie Andrews got married, her maid of honor, Caitlin, made some unauthorized alterations to her dress, and Connie realized Caitlin was not her friend. When Connie got Satellite, she joined the millions who don't get true on-demand, and she realized Satellite was not her friend. Now Connie has Charter, with over 10,000 titles, many free. It's the on-demand she always wanted. Take it from Connie. Satellite is not your friend. Watch over 10,000 titles on demand with Charter.
Welcome back to Dial In. My next guest is the Senior Director of Community Response and Relations at 1736 Family Crisis Center, Toby Quintiliani. Is that right?
That's right.
How'd I got it right the
You
first?
got it right.
For over 40 years, 1736 Family Crisis Center has been responding to the growing needs of victims of domestic violence and homelessness. Operating shelters throughout the county, 1736 provides 24-hour support to people in need of life-saving services. Thank you for joining me today, Toby. So let's start. 40 years. What was the inspiration? How did 1736 start, and how did it get its name?
Well, 42 years ago, our founders saw that kids were on the beach in Hermosa Beach, and they were homeless, didn't have anywhere to go. And so these concerned citizens wanted to help them. And that was the first youth shelter in Hermosa Beach. That's how it started. What happened after that is they realized that the kids were coming from abusive families, which led to the opening of our first domestic violence shelter. And since then, we've done 4 domestic violence shelters and still have a youth shelter.
What are the locations?
The locations of the domestic violence shelters are
Areas.
confidential,
You're right.
but it's all throughout LA County. We try to dot them throughout LA County so that we could put someone in a safe location depending on where their batterer is.
So 1736, how did you get that name?
That's the name of the address of our youth shelter in Hermosa Beach. It's 1736 Monterey.
Yeah, I had to say that because I knew that, but I
Yes.
think it's a great story because everybody looks at, how you name things, and you did it off the original address. So what are some of the life-saving services that 1736, has to offer?
Well, what we do is we take in domestic violence victims and their children, as well as homeless children that are alone, and we shelter them. And while we shelter them, we give them all the basic necessities that they would need as far as food and clothing and everything else. But we also give them life-saving services such as legal services, case management, mental health therapy, and wraparound services so that they can truly get better.
And I assume that you separate those that are homeless from those that are there because of domestic. They're 2 different kinds of.
They're actually all homeless due to domestic violence. So the minute that their home becomes unsafe, they are considered homeless.
So how many people come to your shelters each year?
Well, we serve 25,000 in indirect and 5,000 in direct services, which means round about 5,000 people get sheltered, and the other 20,000 get served every night. On any given night, we're having 150 beds that are filled.
Wow. So, and where, as you relate to, say, the other 5,000 of that, out of that side of that 150, where do they go? You assist them in finding shelter? Is that what you?
Yes, the 5,000 is an annual number, and that's what the 150 make up during the course of a year. So they're coming in and out. They're staying for as long as they need to stay until they're safe enough to be on their own. And that's our whole goal when someone comes to us, is to get them self-sufficient and help them with job development and whatever services they need to become self-sufficient.
So is the crisis center available year-round?
Oh yes, 365 days a year, any hour of the day or night, we're there.
What are some of your feeder organizations? Like the police departments or the fire departments?
Absolutely.
Or how do you get, how do they know how to get to 1736?
So we have a big outreach department that goes out, and they go out to clubs, police, hospitals are a big one, and the police love to know about us because they can give our cards to potential victims that are going to come to us.
Well, one of the other things that I know that you work with, and especially me, are veterans. And being a veteran myself, but also, unfortunately, here in Los Angeles County, we have the largest homeless veterans population in America right here. So what type of services and how does that filter through 1736? What services are available to a veteran?
Well, we are
homeless or not?
so honored to have this grant that we have. It's called Supportive Services for Veteran Families. And we were a recipient of it last year, and we again are this year. And we have put 360 veterans into homes and helped them save their homes since the inception of this contract. What we do is we'll go right out onto the streets to find the homeless veterans with our case managers. We find them, and then we get them straight into a home. We work with landlords, we work with people that will help us so that we can just get them right into the home. It's a housing first model, straight into the home no matter what. And then we work on case management, job development, to have them keep that home. It's a wonderful, wonderful project.
Yeah. So do you work with other veterans agencies when you coming together? Obviously you have your unique things that you do and your areas of expertise, like U.S. Vets and some of the others. Do you interface with other veterans organizations?
We do. We have a whole bunch of them that we work with. We work together. If we can't serve someone, maybe they can, and vice versa. We go to meetings together. We do everything to work together.
So you say you have a big case management and outreach team going out into the streets. Are there other direct feeders for the veterans that somehow that they are brought to your attention?
Well, it's the same. We use our outreach to also go out to groups and churches and police and hospitals and just tell everyone, if you see someone homeless on the street, ask them if they're a veteran and call us. We can help.
So how can the community get involved with 1736 during this holiday season?
What we love to do during the holiday season is what we call our free holiday store. And we take donations from everyone that wants to give anything to us. And we set up our offices to be like, it looks like a store, but our clients come and shop for free. Our volunteers come and they're the personal shoppers. It's the most joyous occasion because a family will come in, will separate the parent from the child and take the child into the mother or father store and take the child into the other store, and then we secretly wrap all the presents and they leave with just, boatloads of presents.
So the kids get out to pick out a present for mom or
Yes.
dad or someone and vice versa.
Yes, and it's the favorite time of year.
Well, it's a favorite time of year, but I think more importantly is what you do. I mean, it's a favorite time of year for a lot of us, but unfortunately, it's just like another day of survival for
right.
many of the folks out there. And so the 1736s of the world, and in particular, do such an amazing job in touching these lives and making a difference, because it is a joyous time, but it's a difficult time for these families. So
Such a difficult time, and we get overjoyed by bringing joy into their lives.
well, I really appreciate 1736. I really appreciate, Toby, you taking the time to be with us today. I know you're working on a lot of things, possibly a new clinic in Wilmington and
That's right.
all the kinds of things you're doing, but we really commend you and the staff there at 1736 and the impact you're having on the lives of those truly in need here and the ultimate safety net here in Los Angeles County. So thank you again.
Supervisor.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Okay.
When Dennis Walker was in high school, his locker partner, Dave, stole his girlfriend. And Dennis realized Dave was not his friend. When Dennis got satellite, he also got an unreliable signal. And he realized satellite was not his friend. Now he has Charter and a reliable weatherproof signal, just like thousands of others who switch every month. Take it from Dennis. Satellite is not your friend. Get a reliable signal, rain or shine, with Charter.
Thank you again for tuning in to Dialed In. I want to thank our special guest today for taking the time to join us. Even more so, I want to recognize them for their incredible efforts and commitment to helping those most in need. This holiday season, before you roast the turkey or buy the latest video game, I will hope you will consider supporting one of these organizations or others working to bring holiday cheer to those in need. The holidays are not a happy time for everyone, but if all of us can do in our small part, we can really change a life or bring a smile to their face. Whether it's giving toys, food, or clothing, or helping in a food line, the smallest gesture can make a huge difference. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our troops who may not be able to celebrate the holidays with their families. And to the families and their friends, we appreciate the sacrifice that you make every day as you wait for your loved ones to return home safely. So here in the 4th District, we have a long history of supporting the U.S. vets. And if you'd like to make a life-changing difference for them, or a homeless or an at-risk veteran, or their families, please visit usvetsinc.org or call 213-542-2600 and get involved today. However you celebrate, from the Knabe family, we wish you and yours peace and joy this holiday season and all the best in the new year. Thank you again for tuning in to Dialed In. We'll be back next year with all new shows.